Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for FENIX360, and I'm blessed to be joined today by the poet and singer, Shanelle Gabriel. Hello, Shanelle. How are you?
Hey, how are you? So glad to be here and nice to have to be on with you.
Oh, man, it's great to see you, Shanelle. Thanks for being here. And listen, I am looking forward to sharing some of your work with our audience. So is it cool with you if we go to your YouTube channel and check out your track, Prove Me?
Yes, yes, please do. It was a live performance and it's definitely one of my favorite.
I love it. Okay, everyone, let's tune in now to Shanelle Gabriel and Prove Me.
For anybody that's trying to date like me, and you just
Back
be
up,
like,
back up, y'all, back up.
and you just be like, you just after a while you just start being pessimistic and you trying to like not be that way, right? So I wrote this song called "Prove Me." Oh, and Harry. Baby, I'm scared to fail, scared to break, scared you're just gonna take. Scared my heart won't flutter. So many times it's been shattered. We connected, it's been great, but tell me, baby, will you change? Will you still be the same after the honeymoon phase? Tell me, will you be an epic fail, a typical tale where I'm fighting just to make you stay? I can't go through the pain of heartbreak again and again. So do me a favor, can you prove me wrong? Prove me, prove me, prove me, prove me wrong, can you prove me wrong? Prove me, prove me, prove me wrong. Should I just pass you by or should I stay? Ignore the light inside of me, pretend I don't get all hyped every time I see you. Do I just play it safe or run away? But the heart wants to stay. Yeah, doesn't wanna hesitate, 'cause love is at stake. I don't think I can take another blow to my ego. So tell me, are you just spitting game? You better make your intentions plain, 'cause if you hurt me, I might never love again. Prove me wrong, can you prove me wrong?
Wow, Chanel, cool. Great to share your music with everybody. Thanks for that. Now, can you tell me, where are you from and how did you become a poet and a singer?
So I'm from Brooklyn, New York originally, by way of Trinidad and Tobago, my family, first generation American. And I've always written, read, I've always been into lyrics. I think I fell in love with hip hop in the fifth grade, but that just led to me loving words.
Uh-huh.
And from there, outside of the small little tiny poems I wrote, heartbroken things that most people
Yes.
start their poems in relationships, I actually ended up discovering the genre of spoken word poetry. I was always a singer, grew up in church. But when I discovered poetry as another medium, one that I found just a little more accessible than the music industry was. I didn't feel like it was as welcoming in the music industry at the time I was joining.
I see.
Poetry, yeah, poetry became the thing, and I fused the two.
Oh man, that is lovely, Chanel. It's great to hear that. And listen, I love poetry, and I think it's so emotionally moving and stirring when you can connect into poetry that really relates to whatever you might be experiencing, and so I so appreciate great poetry and great storytelling through poetry. So let me ask, and also Trinidad Tobago, what a wonderful place to have originated, in terms of your heritage and the Caribbean and just the beautiful islands. And now in New York, where you're immersed in such an artistic, greater community there. And I'm
Mhm.
glad that you probably found audiences and venues that have been receptive to poetry and expanding in that art form. And very glad that we were able to share your music as well, because it translates into, that those musical compositions. So what are you currently working on then, Chanel?
Well, right now, and just to shout out, thank you so much for bringing up like New York is such a cultural hub. I got so much of my start here in New
Big time.
York, and a lot of my background is in Caribbean calypso and steel pan music, which is why I love instrumentation. And yeah, but and in the past I did that poetry jam and did some really awesome programs and got to tour internationally with poetry and music, bringing music into it.
Wonderful.
So as far as what I'm working on right now, I am writing. I'm just doing a lot of writing in the hopes that in the fall I will begin working on a new project as well as a book. I haven't done a book. I'm
Cool.
2 albums in, and it's about time for a book.
Uh-huh.
So so I'm working on that. And I also do a regular series with the Museum of the City of New York here in New York City. Still performing, still touring, performing wherever people ask me to be, but definitely I'm in that grind period of trying to crank out things with intention.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's beautiful that you've had so much progress and been involved in so many different venues and collaborated with so many other dynamic, artistic, creative people. It's really inspiring. So, were there other kinds of poets or musical performers that inspired you in terms of, when you maybe when you were growing up, or, you were a big fan of?
Oh, as a kid, I was a huge Maya Angelou fan. And not just Phenomenal Woman and Still I Rise. I discovered a handwritten book that my sister rewrote a bunch of her poems, and some of them were about love, and some of them about like were sarcastic, and it was just such a beautiful exploration of all of the different aspects of human experience. And so I was a huge fan of hers. I think more contemporarily, a good friend of mine, I'm blessed that a lot of the people that I've enjoyed, I've either performed with or worked with currently.
It's really blessing.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. So I'm thinking like my homegirl, Mahogany Brown. Mahogany L. Brown is an amazing poet and a community leader here in New York. A good friend of mine, Jay Ivy, he's based out of Chicago. He was a part of the Kanye West documentary. He's somebody I've always looked up to. And even when that was probably one of the first times that I heard spoken word poetry with contemporary hip hop on Kanye West's first album. And it was such an inspiration to me. And so I'm just blessed that a lot of the people that I am inspired by are around me musically. I'm a huge Jay-Z fan because lyrically just love the wordplay, the double entendres, triple entendres sometimes, and just the creative use of language that he uses. And more recently, Toby and Wigwe, he's a newer artist, African artist based out of Houston, if I'm not mistaken, and just so creative with how he crafts the stories and visuals that he uses. So those are my inspirations. Everyone feel free to Google them.
They're wonderful, and some I'm well acquainted, and others I'm learning about, and it's really great to hear what's inspired you. Because I got to tell you what, your voice is so powerful, and the insights you're providing into your poetry and your music is really profound, and absolutely your own signature frequency. But these influences have made an impact, and they get rippled in through your work to some extent, if you will, just because it's a blend in terms of what we absorb and then also what we produce. So at any rate, I'm really appreciating you and looking forward to following your progress. Now, how do you promote yourself, Chanel, on your social media?
I am huge on Instagrams. I mean, that's the not huge as in the end all be all, but that's where you're gonna find me.
Primarily.
I really, I love Instagram. I'm on Twitter a little bit, but that's usually just to rant. So if you want to see more, so if you want to see more of me, that's usually the best way to find me. Or you could just go to chanellegabriel.com and a lot of
your own
my
website, SHANELLEGABRIEL.com.
Yeah.
Great. That's going to be the primary place where ultimately you can connect with you. And then also, we're really looking forward to having you on the FENIX360 app here, where people connect and discover you there. So Chanel, it is so cool to hang out with you and learn about your poetry and your music and your heart and what you've been doing out there in New York. And just it's a blessing for me to meet with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Everyone tune into the social media links below for Chanelle Gabriel and look for her rising on FENIX360. Thanks, Chanel. Take care. Respect.
You got a heartbeat. He got a heartbeat. She got a heartbeat. We got a heartbeat. You got a heartbeat. He got a heartbeat. She got a heartbeat. We got a heartbeat. I'm not that much different from you. We gotta do what we gotta do. But you think 'cause of my skin, my complexion, my background means we can't hang around. We're all just trying to live. To the world we have something to give. Similarities occur naturally. The same air we gotta breathe here. We're meant to blend like harmonies, like notes on a staff, like trains on a subway map. If you look deep inside, you will find we're all in the bloodline of mankind. Our heartbeats beat to the same baseline. That's why more than one of a kind, more than one of a kind, more than one of a kind. We are more than one of a kind, more than one of a kind, more than one of a kind, more than one of a kind. We are more than one of a kind. It's a waste of time trying to keep us divided by color lines, or to be defined by age or by state of mind. We got the same goals, the same soul. We're more than just one of a kind. We're in the same family, connected by ties that are divine. It's how we were designed. We've got the same tools, it's all in how we use them. No need for